Hello everyone, this is Tim. I just saw a video over on YouTube about laziness. Now this has been a thing that CondorDM, he's the guy that posted this, has talked about in the past. We had some discussions together, me and him, and it made me think. His opinion, even from where he was a couple years ago, he says it's gotten a lot worse since then. And it's one of those perspectives that I don't think I would see myself. I don't know if I would notice that because I'm kind of oblivious to trends, I think, in gaming and so forth. But his post made me think about my gaming group, gaming club in Pittsburgh. I've noticed that the RPG scene there has been struggling. It's kind of saddening and disheartening, but there's a definite trend there. And I've noticed too that like board games got real popular. But one thing that he was talking about is just that like players aren't, willing to put in as much effort or look up things or read the book or even have the book, And I've seen that too where, I often have a player's copy of whatever game I'm going to run in a face-to-face game. And the main reason I do that is so that I don't have to lend out my book to the players. Especially if there's like spellcasters or things that need referenced during the course of the game. And that, I guess that's an example of the added pressure on a GM financially to have those sorts of references, or I've done other things too. Like I've printed out what I would consider like player handouts, I guess, just to aid or facilitate play. And I wouldn't have to do that as much if there was more buy-in and excitement and things from those players. If I'm running a game set in a very difficult to learn setting, like Tecmo, for instance, like I've given out those player handouts, and I've noticed that a lot of them haven't read them, or they just didn't have the work ethic to put in the hours to. Maybe not even hours as a player, maybe even like 10 minutes before a session, just kind of picking up some things or just taking out some time throughout the week to learn stuff. And that Tecmo game that I was into, it was just disheartening to see that. And with the actual gaming club itself, there was just a lot of undedicated players. And it wasn't, for a long time, I probably didn't see a lot of stuff because it was just my games, and I was putting a lot of the blame on myself. And some of that was my fault, but it's a trend because I saw other GMs having the same issues. And, Condor, he's one of those guys that's, what I would consider rough around the edges. And I have a lot of friends like that, and I think I admire them because they aren't afraid to have an unpopular opinion. And they're not afraid to give you a bitter pill. And sometimes when you're presented with something like that, you become defensive as a person. And I've tried to get away from that too. Okay, this is what they're saying. Let me think about it for a minute. Do I think there's any real truth to that? And usually there is. The people that are blunt like that tend to, have their facts straight. Not all the time, or sometimes they're just, they swallow that propaganda, and that's just what they're spewing back at your face. But, try to keep this short. Do you think that the gaming culture has been sort of infected with laziness? Are we spending too much time, just mindless, Facebook scrolling, like, oh yeah, look at that meme, Is that the kind of stuff we're doing now instead of reading up on a campaign setting? Or, digging into the rules and taking notes? Putting things on flashcards or index cards as a quick reference when you're at the table, highlighting and basically just doing all those things that speed things up, when you're the GM. Have we gotten away from those hard-working, good work ethic, tendencies? That's a question to you, I guess. I myself think that there's some truth there. That we've kind of fallen from good work habits that we've had in the past. So do you think that we're lazier as GMs? Do you think we're lazier as players? Do you think the community at large doesn't put in as much effort into things as they once did? So that's it. That's my question.